my clock in my office is incredibly loud. I'm hearing it like ticking. It's not quite 7. Oh, now it is exactly 7 o'clock. So Michelle, should we begin? And I will keep an eye and let people in if they're late.
Sure. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet us here in the midst of this most unusual space as we celebrate your academic achievements from your time at McDaniel College at this induction ceremony on the 5th of May, 2020 into Phi Beta Kappa, the National Liberal Arts Honor Society. As I get started, we sent you in the mail a pack of materials. And so what I would like you to do is to find this pink program in your packet. That's the program that will kind of give you the order of how things are going to go. Okay, and as you look for that, let me just introduce myself. My name is Michelle Gribben. If you don't know me, I am a senior lecturer in the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science. I'm also a 1987 alumna of the college, and I'm also the current president of the Delta of Maryland chapter of Phi Beta Kappa here at McDaniel. And so let me be the first to congratulate all of you who are about to be initiated into our honor society. Our purpose tonight is to receive into our society those who have qualified for election and wish to be admitted to its privileges and to undertake its responsibilities. Part of being a part of Phi Beta Kappa is an amazing accomplishment, and it looks great on your resume, but it really runs much deeper than that. Your eligibility into this honor society demonstrates your passion and your love for learning and your moral character. It displays your commitment to studying a diverse array of subjects that span the liberal arts, from science and math to literature and history. It acknowledges that you approach the world around you with a view of critical inquiry, with an open and empathetic mind to new ideas. The pledge that you're making tonight is a confirmation of these principles, and we hope that in making this pledge to Phi Beta Kappa, that you will think of it sort of as a promise to use these foundations that have been laid by your professors here on the Hill to think and act critically, creatively, humanely, and in both your professional work and in your personal lives as exemplary citizens of a global world that we are sending you off into. We ask that you be an advocate and carry the torch for the value of the liberal arts into your sphere of influence in today's ever-changing world. According to the Phi Beta Kappa historical documents that date back to the induction ceremony of 1779, the president of the original chapter, the Alpha chapter, greeted his initiates as follows. This society was founded by a few friends for social interaction. At first, it was confined to a small number of very worthy students. They planted the scion, from which has grown a tree that now buds forth before your eyes with blossoms of harmony and concord. It was engrafted on the stock of friendship in the soil of virtue, enriched by literature. To cherish and keep it alive has been the constant care of those members who have succeeded. Students, you are about to become one of those successors, and it is our fondest hope that you in turn will cherish the society and strive to perpetuate the spirit of this greeting. It is customary on this occasion to have the chapter historian, Dr. Stephen Feely, to give a brief account of the history of the society and of our chapter. So, Dr. Feely.
Thank you. And before I briefly talk about the history, I just wanted to say what an honor it is to be able to see so many of you here. All of you guys are the people who really make it very special for professors like me to teach in my classes, and I always look forward to seeing all of you in our classes, and it's really it's kind of trite sometimes to say it's an honor to be here, but you're the sort of students that it is an honor to be with and to be able to share the classroom space with and be able to hear your ideas and actually learn from our students so often. So to briefly go into the history, Phi Beta Kappa was born as a secret society in revolutionary times in 1776 at the College of William and Mary, as young men pondered their roles as future leaders. Members debated intellectual and social questions, from whether a wise state hath any interest nearer at heart than the education of the youth, to the desirability of putting an end to African slavery. The call to service and intellectual pursuits continued past the revolution, and the organization expanded over the next century. In 1875, Phi Beta Kappa enlarged its membership to include women. The society now has over 550,000 living members elected over the years by the 290 chapters at colleges and universities throughout the country. Nearly 50 alumni associations provide opportunities for a lifelong relationship with Phi Beta Kappa and its activities and goals on the community level. For much of McDaniel College's history, top academic students were initiated into McDaniel's own honor society, the Argonauts, founded in 1935. McDaniel College applied for membership within Phi Beta Kappa, and in 1979 received a chapter to be designated the Delta of Maryland chapter, the fourth such institution in Maryland. Phi Beta Kappa continues to take great pride in its origins. The present Phi Beta Kappa key, for example, and we could see it behind Mary, who is labeled Awesome English Teacher. The present Phi Beta Kappa key reproduces the design originated by the young founders of the society at William and Mary. On its front, it bears the Greek letters PBK, the initials of the word Philosophia Biou Kybernetes, meaning love of learning is the guide of life. The 3 stars on the upper left corner symbolize the aims of the society: friendship, morality, and literature or learning. A pointing hand in the lower right-hand corner stands for aspiration. And then on the reverse side, and I don't think we've got that. No. on the reverse side are inscribed the letters S and P, which stand for the society's second motto, the Latin words Societas Philosophia, meaning philosophical society. Below them appear the date of the founding of the first chapter, December 5th, 1776. The member's name and the electing chapter are engraved above.
Thank you.
Although Phi Beta Kappa ceased to be a secret society over 150 years ago, tradition has preserved 2 secret signs within the organization. When members met, they greeted each other by drawing the back of their index and middle fingers of the right hands across the lips from left to right, thus apparently affirming that their lips were sealed. They followed this sign with a handshake, one of the traditional forms of which will be revealed to you at the end of this initiation ceremony. Phi Beta Kappa continues in the spirit of its founders. Charles Evans Hughes, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, once proclaimed in words that are still true today that the particular interest of Phi Beta Kappa is in liberal education. It means the development of careful training, of the capacity to appreciate what has been done and thought, the ability to make worthwhile appraisals of achievements, doctrines, theories, proposals. It is liberal because it emancipates. It signifies freedom from the tyranny of ignorance and, from what is worse, the dominion of folly. Phi Beta Kappa holds aloft the old banner of scholarship, and to the students who have turned aside from the easier paths and by their talent and fidelity have proved themselves to be worthy, it gives the fitting recognition of a special distinction.
Thank you. So tonight we are inducting into our chapter 26 seniors from the class of 2020 who will join 3 of their classmates who were elected as juniors last year. And we're also inducting 2 exceptional juniors who we hope will carry the banner of academic excellence to the rest of the class of 2021 during their senior year. In accordance with the rules of this chapter and in consequence of our good opinion of your intellectual and moral character, supported by your record of high academic achievement, you have been selected as worthy of becoming members of Phi Beta Kappa. Your names have been submitted to the scrutiny of the constitutional electors of the chapter and have been met with approval. You have been formally notified of your election, and by your presence here, you signify your desire to be enrolled as members of this ancient and honorable society. In a moment, the secretary of our chapter will read your names one at a time. we're going to ask you that when your name is read, that you somehow acknowledge your presence today. We have a little pledge, and usually we have everybody say "we do" all at once, but we thought that tonight, since we're in this kind of odd place, that when we read your name, if you would just unmute your microphone and say "I do," to say that you are accepting this pledge and committing to be a member of our society. So the pledge says this. It says, do you solemnly promise that you will be true and faithful to Phi Beta Kappa, uphold its standards, obey its laws, and seek to reflect credit upon your affiliation with this venerable fellowship of learners? So Dr. Mary is going to read each of your names, and as she does, you can just sort of accept by saying, I do.
I muted myself.
I was going to say.
They're in alphabetical order, the juniors first and then the seniors.
And they're in the program, so you can follow along.
You can follow along. Patricia J. Dixon.
I do.
Clayton Owen Herbst.
I do.
Sydney Anaya Anselme.
I do.
Colleen Faye Clark.
I do.
Jade Olivia Enright.
I do.
Angelina Marie Gill.
I do.
Brenna Madeline Gutshall.
I do.
Randall William Hilleary.
I do.
Kaylee Ann Holliger.
I do.
Cooper Allen Hostetler.
I do.
Marya Vladimirovna Kuratova.
I do.
Erika Maxine Lewis.
I do.
Samantha Rachel Long.
I do.
Devon Alexander Maranto.
I do.
Nathan Ryan Miller.
I do.
Anna Claire Mondoro.
I do.
Grayson Christopher Myers.
I do.
J.E.B Stuart Nicholas Myers.
I do.
Connor Douglas Norton.
I do.
Kelly Ann Novak.
I do.
Erin Marie Pogue.
I do.
Laurel Ann Pogue.
I do.
Andrew Thomas Pyne.
No, Andrew.
In absentia. Hannah Susan Ravencroft.
I do.
Megan Nicole Sadler.
I do.
Ariana Claire Snyder.
I do.
Jill Catherine Shepard.
I do.
And Eric Walter von Bergen IV.
I do.
Very nice. All right, so each of you has affirmed your loyalty to Phi Beta Kappa and pledged to uphold its standards. At this point in our ceremony, we usually have you come forward and sign our register, which we can't really do. So it is our hope that at next year's graduation ceremony, when you return to the Hill, that you'll have the opportunity to sign the chapter's roll. And we hope that we'll be able to have a chance to take our traditional picture that we usually take in front of the theater. But for right now, we'd like you to all open up those envelopes that we gave you or that we sent you in the mail. And inside, you'll find your official Phi Beta Kappa certificate. I think there's a bookmark in there. There are materials in the folder about the different area alumni chapter associations of Phi Beta Kappa. So there's a Baltimore area chapter and there's a DC area chapter. And if you're not in this area, most large cities have an alumni chapter of Phi Beta Kappa. And we encourage you to seek out that network of like-minded alumni from Phi Beta Kappa colleges and universities and participate in their events that they have. For the first year, your membership fees are waived to be a part of that alumni association. And if you go to their website, which is in the materials, and kind of sign up, you'll get information about different events that they also hold. Also in your envelope, we hope that you found the gift from us. Traditionally, after our ceremony, we have a nice dinner on the dining porch to honor you with your families and with other faculty members. But since we aren't able to do that this year, we are instead presenting you with your Phi Beta Kappa key that was described by Dr. Feely earlier. So you can look at it and see all those little symbols on there, and it should have your name and year engraved on it, the year you were inducted engraved on it, and we hope that you'll wear it proudly. So at this time, I would like to ask Dr. Casey to greet you and bring congratulations.
First of all, let me say congratulations to all of you. It's a remarkable achievement to become a member of Phi Beta Kappa. And I think back to my own initiation at my alma mater of Furman, and how meaningful it was for me and for my family. This is the result of an extraordinary amount of hard work. You got here because you are really remarkable young people. You stand out in everything you do, in your academics, in your social life, and part of Phi Beta Kappa is the issue of moral character, and you have been judged by your peers as being outstanding in that regard as well. You need a lot of moral character right now. This is a tough, tough time in which we are all living. I am so sorry that your senior year has been marred by this terrible virus, that you are all forced to live in these little digital boxes that we're all in now, that remind people my age of the Brady Bunch. But what we've clearly heard from your faculty members in this time is how much you continue to excel. You have to dig deep, reach way down inside to really find that strength and fortitude to be able to continue to move ahead every day. You're going to be graduating into a world of extraordinary uncertainty. But I look at each and every one of you, and I have to take a minute here because I'm going to flick to page 2 so I can make sure I see all of you, to know that you are the people who will lead our future. You are the people who will help find cures for diseases like the one we're now facing. You are the people who will do social science research to help us figure out how to become better connected. You are the people who will write great literature, who will perform in the arts, and will tell the stories, because you are going to have some incredible stories to tell. You know, this college has survived some remarkable challenges over the years. 2 world wars, Korea, Vietnam, the Spanish flu 100 years ago. We've survived the plague of polio, of tuberculosis, HIV. I mean, each generation has been beset with enormous challenges. And your generation is probably facing certainly the greatest challenge that this country has faced in the past 150 years. But every day, those of us who are dressed in these funny hats up here, we get out of bed because of you. Because we know that you are the future. You are a bright and shining future for us all. And today we join with tremendous pride in saying how honored we are that you are part of McDaniel. I am so sorry that in 2 weeks, I don't get to shake your hand. I don't get to be there when you walk across the stage, but know in spirit we are there with you, and someday in the future, we're going to get that chance with you to celebrate all your achievements. Thank you for all that you have done for this college, and I wish you great health and great futures. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Casey. Okay, so in the presence of the members of the society that are gathered here tonight, I declare you officially members of the Delta chapter of Phi Beta Kappa of the state of Maryland, and authorize you to wear its key as a badge and to participate in its meetings. And so we offer our congratulations to you. Yay. You are now lifetime members of the nation's oldest academic honor society, and we hope that you'll be active in its programs and associations and support its endeavors and goals. And as was mentioned earlier, there is one more thing that we need to do before you leave, and that is I'm going to attempt to explain the secret handshake of the society, even though I have no one to shake hands with here. But basically what you need to do is pretend that you're Dr. Spock and go like this, kind of split your fingers apart. And if there was somebody else there that had the same thing, you would just sort of hook your fingers together in the middle and shake hands. So maybe you can try it with your parents or whoever's nearby in your house a little bit later.
Stay 6 feet away from them.
That's right.
Okay, that's going to be tricky, but try. And I think, oh, that's the last thing I need to remember. So Phi Beta Kappa is having a little contest. If you take a picture with your certificate or with the key that Dr. Mary is holding up right there, I think you're going to send them one of those?
Self key.
The self key, yes.
I'm going to send you all the link to print out your own. But when you come to campus, you can use mine and take pictures.
So if you take a picture with either your certificate or the self key, you can post it to the Phi Beta Kappa Twitter feed, and there's a contest, and maybe you'll win. Who knows? But there's also a McDaniel Phi Beta Kappa Twitter handle. So if you'd like to post pictures there, that would be great too. We'd love to see you on that social media platform as well. So I think that's all we have. And Dr. Mary, did you want to say anything else? Or?
No, just congratulations and thank you all for showing up.